Recently, I rewatched a live-action adaptation of Mulan, and it reminded me of how enduring this epic story truly is. This curiosity led me to dig deeper into Mulan's origins and interpretations across time. While browsing the National Library Board's website, I came across an article that caught my attention. Faces of Mulan, written by Go Yumei, a librarian from the National Library Chinese Arts and Literary Collection, together with Michelle Heng, who curated a tribute showcase for Edwin Tambu. In this video, I'll briefly discuss some of the insights presented in their research. One of the most interesting reinterpretations mentioned in the article is the story of a woman warrior, written in 1998 by Robert de Saint-Souci, which likely inspired Disney's 1998 animated adaptation. In Souci's retelling, Mulan shares military strategies drawn from Sun Tzu's The Art of War, or Sun Tzu Bingfa. He noted, it seems logical that Mulan, in her rise to generalship, would have studied this essential text in depth, even committing its principles to memory. The research also highlights how authors from different regions handle the cultural context of Mulan's story. While Mulan's tale deeply reflects Chinese values and traditions, authors in North America tend to provide more background and cultural explanations for their readers. Asian authors, on the other hand, often assume that readers already understand the cultural values embedded in the story. This observation reminded me of something I studied from the French philosopher Louis Althusser. In his essay Ideology and Ideological State Apparatuses, Althusser explores how those in power maintain control through institutions such as the army, the police, and the judiciary, what he calls repressive state apparatuses. He also discusses ideological state apparatuses like school and the media, which shape individual beliefs and identities, making them recognize a social role which may not be their true self. Put simply, Althusser suggests that we are interpolated or called into a false consciousness of who we are as defined by society's structures of power. Mulan's story, however, challenges this process. She defies the conventional roles assigned to her, both as a woman and as a subject within a patriarchal order. While she embodies virtues like loyalty, filial piety, benevolence, and love, the very values upheld by the state, she simultaneously questions and subverts the boundaries placed upon her identity. In this way, Mulan represents both the ideal citizen and the rebel, embodying the tension between social conformity and personal agency. A theme that continues to resonate through every retelling, from Asian ballads to modern adaptations. But Mulan's story doesn't just live in texts or screens. It has also found a place in the real world, in spaces where art and nature intertwine. Beyond books and films, Mulan's legacy has taken root in public spaces, from sculptures to gardens, where her image continues to remind us of strength, grace, and loyalty. The statue captures a quiet but powerful dignity, a blend of grace and determination. Statues like this remind us that Mulan is not merely a literary or cinematic icon, but a cultural symbol deeply embedded in shared memory. Mulan's appeal isn't confined to scholars or historians. She also lives vividly in the imagination of children. For many, myself included, Mulan represents one of the earliest encounters with the ideas of courage, independence, and self-discovery. There is something inherently liberating in watching her make her own choices, disguising herself, taking risks, and forging her own path. It's reminiscent of characters in Studio Ghibli films such as Spirited Away or Howl's Moving Castle. Coming-of-age stories that beautifully capture youthful creativity without reducing children's thoughts to something mindless or naive. In that way, the statue doesn't just celebrate her heroism, it also reminds us of the imaginative freedom her stories continues to inspire, especially in the young. Here, I'm reminded of Mulan's surname, Hua, meaning flower. This name, added during the Ming Dynasty, carries multiple layers of meaning. On one level, it symbolizes delicacy and grace, qualities often linked to femininity. Yet, in Mulan's story, the flower becomes a metaphor for resilience and transformation, something that blooms even in the harshest conditions. Interestingly, when pronounced with a different tone, Hua, the same sound can also mean splendid or prosperous, and is used to represent Chinese civilization itself, as in Zhonghua. Depending on how we interpret it, Mulan's name can thus signify both the individual flower and the collective nation. In that sense, her story is both deeply personal and profoundly national, the courage of one woman reflecting the ideas and struggles of an entire culture. Within the same Chinese garden, not far from where the bronze statue of Mulan stands, lies one of Singapore's hidden gems, the Bonsai Garden. Established in 1992, it houses over 2,000 bonsai plants, some of which are more than 50 years old. Among the species found here are Chinese elm, Ulmus palvifolia, juniper, Fukian tea, Carmona retusa, and pine and podocarpus, or Buddhist pine. Each bonsai embodies a dialogue between nature and human artistry. Some of the common bonsai styles include a formal upright chokan, standing tall and straight, informal upright moyogi, slightly curved, slanting shakan, cascade kengai, semi-cascade Heng kengai, and various other styles. Viewed through the lens of Mulan's story, these bonsai carry quiet meaning. Like Mulan, each tree is shaped by both discipline and compassion, guided yet alive with its own will. As you walk through the garden, there's a sense of timeless patience. Every curve of a branch or twist of a trunk reflects years of care and cultivation. It's a living metaphor for the Chinese value of Shu Shen, self-cultivation, the belief that true strength arises from patience, harmony, and inner growth.